What's up, everybody? Shawn here with another Live to Roll live. This week, we're talking about health and what we do to stay healthy and just, overall wellness. So let's get into some quick intros here, and then we'll thank our sponsors right after that. My name is Shawn. I'm a C5, C6 quad from a snowboarding accident 18 years ago now. Tom, why don't you take it away?
What up, everybody? Your boy T Fizzle, aka Tom Conaway, in the building. Yeah, C5, C6 quad out here repping SoCal, and yeah, super stoked to be talking about what we do to stay healthy and well. Bobby, you want to take it?
Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. Welcome back, everyone. Love that everyone's joining us. We already got Andrew, we got Mama in the house, so
What
love it. We
Yeah,
got a
Grandma.
great guest today, and we also have a great topic today. So, my name is Bobby Rohan. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic from a bicycle accident 33 years ago, and I'm sure I'm going to be asked what's behind me is a hyperbaric chamber. So we can talk about it later if we want. But
For
it's
sure.
my new little toy that someone let me borrow. Hopefully, completely heal up what's going on with me. So that's what's going on to me. But enough about me. Let's go to our special guest. Finally, we got the full quad crew. Finally, he's got all three of us today. Caesar, take it away.
Heck yeah, I appreciate you guys having me again. Um, KC Beast online, Caesar in real life. I'm a C5 quad. I was injured 6.5 years ago now. A little more than that now. But 6 years and some change now. I was injured in a car accident, and I love every time that I come on here, just vibe with you guys and really just hanging out with the boys. But I think this topic is definitely important at each one of our stages. 'Cause I think that we all have a certain stage that, like, we've been. I'm really the young buck. You guys are all the OGs, so I mean, you guys are going to be able
Yeah.
to school me even more. So I'm really excited to learn at the same time. It's going to be. I definitely think
Yeah.
it's an amazing topic.
Well, I
Heck
know
yeah,
this
man.
humble gentleman won't say it himself, so let me just shout a couple things out for our boy Casey Beast too. You do set a really positive example, man. Not only just finishing, over at CSUN and continue on with your, grad school, man, which is like incredible on its own. But you're out there like content creating, doing your
Yeah.
music thing, bro. Musical creator artist, but also like. Trying to influence and inspire, other individuals and chairs too, to get out there and, push themselves. And that's, really something to remark on, man. It's very cool. Very amazing of you. So if you guys haven't gone and checked out Casey's content yet, go follow him on Instagram and TikTok and stuff because he makes a lot of really cool stuff and is always out there trying to empower and motivate. Um,
Yeah,
so
because they're
appreciate you joining
educational, but
us.
they're also funny and like entertaining too. Because
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's
I
what's
love
great about you. What's great about you, Cesar, is you kind of remind me of me back in the day, and
you.
just
Me too, Robert.
asking a bunch of questions. You and Kyle, you're kind of like my proteges that finally I can ease off, and I don't have to be at my beck and call of a mentor of mentors. You are the one. You're out there mentoring others too, and I look up to you now, and just glad that you're going to be paving the road many years to come for others too. So, thank you,
I
my
appreciate
friend.
it. You guys are all my OGs. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was laid up in the hospital bed and I needed, encouragement, I would look online and I found Shawn's videos. And, Robert, I remember you personally, talking to you in the hospital when I was at the lowest point where I didn't know if I'd get better or not. And I was just looking for a little bit of hope. And I remember, you looking at me and saying those exact same words. You're like, you remind me a lot of me. And I remember you pointing to my hand. My right hand at the time was like literally like this. I'm like, I could not do any Tito with my right hand. My left hand was super sharp. My right hand was just flopping around. And you were like, my right hand was just like that. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I listened to that, Robert, and I'm not even kidding. That really got me to a whole nother level just by that small moment. So I'm happy to pay it forward. Tom, same thing. You my brother too, brother. And I think just knowing that your hunger and your drive since you were so young that to me alone is what carries the torch. And I'm just happy to take it from each of you as little as I can and do my part too.
Dude, no doubt, man, and it is a lot. It's more measurable than you realize, bro. But it's we're so stoked to have you on, man.
If you keep
these are
up those good comments, man, we're gonna have to have you back every week. So
I know.
exactly, dude. But Caesar's, what level are you, dude? C5,
He's five
C6?
six, like pretty close. He's pretty
Yeah.
much pretty
he's,
right there
So
with
he's
us.
on our,
Yeah,
on our
it's the
yeah.
quad squad in the building. But the
yeah.
other thing is too is like you're like a big boy, like you're healthy, but you're tall. Like you're tall. You got a lot of muscle mass. But you're like super active still.
Yeah.
Like dressing yourself, moving yourself. Like I'm a bigger boy too. Like I'm not that tall, but I'm just a little meaty. And like
Yeah.
it can be hard. Like I mean, someone like Shawn, who's like so skinny. I'm like shout out like Caitlin, um, who like when you're small, it's just like a lot easier to like move and do like the
It
independent things
is.
because you just I have much to move. Like
I
it's
never noticed how long my legs were until my injury. That's when I really
yeah,
realized how much I guess like how little torso I have compared to how long my legs are. When I would first try to like reach for my feet and put my my pants on and stuff, it was almost
yeah.
impossible finding the right angles. That was one of the hardest things early on. I'm sure you guys all can relate to that in a sense.
Well, I've seen like some of the videos that you posted on like how you do like get your shorts on, like get dressed and stuff like that, and it's
Yeah,
super similar to how I do it.
yeah,
But it was just a little bit more relatable than like Sean's vid because like I don't know, I've seen him do his thing. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker's like making it easy. I'm sorry for cursing.
That's you're good,
Just
man.
a little relaxed here on
But
the
I
pod.
know I do. People tell me that all the time. I do tend to make things look pretty easy, and being light does help. Like I mean, the less weight you have to move around, the easier. I'm 6'1" and weigh 100 pounds. Like I'm
yeah.
literally just a
That is
long
that is
like.
scary. That's scary, man.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 100 pounds. I thought I weighed like 130, but I got on the scale, and with my chair, I was 180. And my wheels are 24 pounds a piece, and my frame is right about that too. It's like 75 pounds total for my chair. So I'm like 105 max, probably.
All right, dude,
Man,
we're going on a high lean protein diet for
I'm gonna
Houston.
Well, I
order you
got
a
muscles.
cheesecake.
Oh, bro.
Oh, all right, hold on.
Hey,
Before we get into some more of this stuff, real quick, before I forget, let's
Oh
just
yeah.
shout out, thank our sponsors real quick, Mobility Professionals. So Mobility Professionals is a mobility specialist here in Southern California. So if you're looking for a wheelchair, commode, any type of adaptive device, they can take care of you. They will help with insurance and switching you over and everything. So
hey,
give them a call. Info's below. What's
yo,
up?
let me take part two.
Go for it.
Their sister company, Urology Professionals, also is a sponsor of our show, and they help service you with your urological supplies, catheters, and similar things in that regard. And they are national. So if you're coming at us anywhere in the U.S. and you have any kind of issues with your current catheter supply, or if you're just looking for a change for a good company that has a lot of meaningful knowledge on the matters and have your interests at heart, want to take care of you, work with you, help you understand everything. Check out Urology Professionals. Give them a Google, link in the description, and check out their website. They're really awesome people.
Yeah, you can even give them a call and just get like talk to them and I mean get any information you want. They're super helpful, friendly,
Uh, yeah,
just
they
great
have an
people.
amazing reception, but just very knowledgeable people. And more than that, they do have a lot of individuals that are members of our community as well
Yep.
that represent. So go check them out.
So yeah, thanks guys. Thank you,
Yo, what
and
up,
thanks
Quad
everybody.
Life? What up,
Yeah,
Andrew? Paul got the Quad Squad in the building today, representing Saskatchewan, Canada. Love it, man. Thanks for representing the North, bro. And all our Canadian homies up there.
and
And
now.
if you guys in the chat want to put what you do to stay well, stay healthy, maintain your health, maintain your body, in the chat, please share. Um, it's a tricky balance. But I think we should probably dive on in, and I'm going to just do that and
Let's go.
start out with what I do. And I'm just gonna touch on it for a minute. I know I can talk a lot, you guys. Sorry about that. But like for real, I feel like I go on a lot sometimes, and I'm not too self-aware. So apologies if I do wane on too much. But I think it comes down to balance. Um, Balance in everything. Balance in your care, balance in your independence and what you do for yourself. Um, but balance in your activity, meaning, a good, healthy, active lifestyle, but also, balance in your rest too. And like understanding what, when you need to pull back and what you need to do to, in consideration of your disability and stuff. Finding that balance is not easy, especially when you're new to the game. And Caesar could probably tell you, it's a lot of adjustment those first few years. And, I'm talking years here, not weeks or months, but years, striking that balance and, getting used to care and, learning how to be independent, your skills in that regard and what you're capable of. But I'm gonna toss on over to these other awesome guys. But that's big point I want to try to make is got to find a balance with it all.
Yeah. No,
Caesar,
I
Absolutely.
100%
I
agree
mean,
with that, dude.
yeah,
Because that's what,
I
for
mean,
me, or go ahead, Bobby.
no, go ahead, Sean. Sean.
I was gonna say for me, I'm all about the balance too because like I like to work out, I push myself, but I'm also all about recovery, rest. Like if I go out, like tomorrow, we're leaving for Houston, gonna be gone 6 days. It's gonna be a long trip. I've been trying to rest these last few days. Like I have gone out, I have done a few things, but I have kind of tried to take it easy this last week a little bit just so I know I'm trying to build some and like sustain and save some energy for this week. And that following week is probably going to be a little bit rough, even though I'm going back to Big Bear like 3 days after we get back for water skiing. But so that's part of it. I'm gonna rest hard for those 3 days, and then beat my body up again for another day, and then get back to it. But that's just like for me that works, and it's also diet too. Like I am gonna eat healthy as I can during these times, especially when I'm gone. I'm gonna be trying to eat a lot of protein and things that are gonna be good for my body, because one, I don't eat as much when I'm out and doing stuff like that. So I have issues like I'm already super freaking thin. We've established that right now. So if I am gone for 6 days and I'm not even eating my regular amount of food I normally do to maintain like 100 pounds, like I end up losing weight. I end up skinnier like at the end of like I'm like so I have to be really careful. I really do. So I have to when I get back and part of my rest and recovery is eating. I just try I rest and I try to stack on protein and food. So that's just kind of like part of my balance. But yeah, one of you guys want to
how about you,
talk about
Caesar? What do you do maintain your
I'm,
health and wellness
I'm really similar
activity?
to Shawn in that sense, brother. Where it's like when I know I have a lot of busy days coming. So, like for example, right now, my master's program is starting at the end of this month, and I just got lucky enough to be I got accepted for an internship that's starting next week, and it's gonna fulfill my hours for my master's program, the counseling program, the positions like a leadership program where I'm gonna be doing something I've never done before, but I'm excited to do it. And it's going to require me to be out and about for about 6 hours, maybe 3 to 4 days out of the week. So it's going to be a lot of adjusting. I'm sure, as you guys know, like your mind has to be around doing so, sitting in your wheelchair, moving around a little, just like how we're all kind of doing right now while we're having these conversations. I pay attention to all those little mannerisms that all of us are doing because it's literally what quads have to do to not pass out, right? As we're talking, we're
Yeah,
moving.
same.
and you see me leaning and shifting.
Yeah,
Like I swear, it could be like a game.
it's
Like
all a part of it.
We
watch the
all
quad
do.
lean.
Yeah, it's a balance. Like you said, it's one of those things for me to where, like Shawn, I'll work out extremely hard on the weeks that I know I'm not doing anything. Where I'm at home for 6 hours a day. I'm not just gonna sit at home and just lounge around all day long because I know that's not good for my body. And I know that when I just do that, I don't feel good. My bowels don't move. My bladder's a little
Yep.
slower. I feel a lot more just hurt. You know, my bones ache a little more. My muscles are a little more sore, right? And when I'm at home, usually I'm in a power chair. I'm lucky enough to have been told by everybody when I was in the hospital to just, through insurance, get a power chair because it really helps out with your overall comfortability. And then if you have to buy a manual chair, buy a manual chair. And luckily for me, I got covered through insurance through both. I don't know how, but we did that. So I've been pretty much letting insurance now pay for my power chair, and I figured when I update my manual chair, I'll just buy it myself. Um, and it'll be a cool investment that I make again, right? But the big thing is that when I'm at home, I'm utilizing my time wisely. I'm not just resting all the times. I also know that that's not good for you either, and you just kind of have to stay somewhat active. Like being in a wheelchair doesn't mean you can't be physically fit. And a lot of times, I think we neglect our bodies because we assume we can't do something. I can't speak for a C1 quad, obviously, so I don't know what their struggle is. But I know mental reps has to be a thing that's tiresome as well too. Is that going to help you like as much as something else? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure, but I do know that like just putting your mind through some sort of discomfort in order to gain, the feeling of being physically motivated in is awesome, and I think you just have to stay on top of it at least a little bit throughout your weeks. And like Shawn said, it's like a hibernation process. Like there's some weeks where I go and I work out 6 days a week, but then like I said, the next week I know I'll be busy, so I won't do that, and I'll just stay on top of managing my life. But that does help my independence. I noticed to where I can transfer better because I work out. I can do a lot. I can trust myself pushing my manual wheelchair in public by myself and not having to worry about getting stuck somewhere. Yeah, there's just so many little benefits.
Yeah, I mean, I think even just like outside of exercise, which is super important to like incorporate into your routine if you can, is
Yeah.
just making sure you get up every day and at least like do your ADLs. It's like activities of daily living. Like it can be just like as simple as getting yourself up, transferring into your chair, preparing some food, whatever it is. Like, I know, like Russ. Anybody that follows Russell, I forget
Yeah,
his
Russ
last
on
name. I'm so
Wheels,
sorry.
Russell Burke.
Yeah, Russ on Wheels. Yeah, Russell Burke. We've had him on the pod several times. He's a higher level quadriplegic that is like incredibly active. He's on a vent. Like this whole sim puff thing, but he's up every day, moving and grooving, and,
Every day.
doing his thing. Like it's really nuts and wild. But it helps him maintain his health. Like I honestly believe that. Like it is like a huge part of your mental wellness, but like part of your physical wellness as well. Like I do know of like some quads in some situations where they're in congregate facilities or even at home and just spend 4 or 5 days out of the week like don't get up.
In bed, yeah.
And that again, like if that's your situation, like I'm not trying to throw shade, but I don't think it's probably the healthiest lifestyle, and that like I think it hinders to your circulation. It can leave you vulnerable to I think pressure sores and stuff like that because you're spending a lot of time down, and you know the mental game can be a real thing. Not getting getting up and getting that sunshine on your skin. Like let me tell you, man, like
Honestly,
it can
that
be
helps
the
so
most
much
healing
just to get
thing.
out into sunshine. Like, get that vitamin D, like natural sunlight. Like, roll yourself outside, man. Even if that's the only activity you're getting.
No, but for real. And that doesn't have to be like the only only thing you accomplish, like, because you can do so much at
Hold
home.
on.
But like, oh, sorry, Caesar. Go ahead, man. I didn't mean
No
to.
worries, bro. I kind of want to hear Robert too. What's funny? I saw Robert in a manual chair when I was in a power chair, and I was like, I gotta be that guy. That's the guy I want to be because when I see what he was doing, going through these obstacle courses, I was like, he's breaking the mold and the standard of what we're supposed to be doing because everyone and their mother was trying to put me in a power chair, and I was like, I just want a manual chair. So I'm grateful that I got into my power chair because I saw the difference and I see the difference, right? But I will say,
No worries, dude.
where I met
Popular
Bobby
guy.
for calling me. Yeah, but yeah, I will say that's one of those things where just to see that it's huge for me. It helps me so much. I believe just seeing
It,
people like me in, you know, doing breaking the mold. I saw that early, and that inspired me to be like, I could do that too, and I want to try to do that. And it's
I
huge,
mean,
I think.
that's why I ended up in a manual chair was because Bobby was the first like quad really that I met. He came in, and then the therapist I had at Northridge was his therapist like 20 years before, 15, whatever. Or Gary, was Gary there? Or well, Gary knew you, and Gary knew that I could
Yeah,
do
very
what you
good.
could
Yeah.
do. So the PT was like, yeah, if you want to do what Bobby's doing, like let's do it. Let's put you in a manual. Like yeah. And like I just kind of followed Bobby's footsteps too. I was like, yeah, I can. I want to be like him. So,
Yeah,
I want to be like
Well,
Bobby too.
yeah.
Like I was in a manual chair for the first few years of my injury, and then kind of transitioned to using a power chair more regularly. And I don't know, at least for my situation, offers a lot of independence and freedom that I wouldn't otherwise have in a
No,
manual chair. Um, which,
no,
again,
living
is
on. I was gonna say just living on your own, like where you are, it would be
yeah.
very, very difficult to be in a manual chair for you. Like
And what you do, so I've
easily not.
seen you like just like I've watched you candidly in your guys' videos where like Tom's rolling on all types of different terrain. He's like, "Yo, what up, y'all?" He's like
He's
asking like
mobbing.
this or something. His mom. So there's definitely benefits to being in a power chair, and there's nothing wrong with using one as well too.
No, it's all about like that balance we were just saying earlier. Like you don't like, and that's why it's like I still am so amazed that Bobby is in a 100% manual chair. Like for me, my balance was getting the emotion wheels. Like that was where I found the balance. Like it was like okay, regular just manual was really hard on me all the time, especially when I was going to school, having to push up ramps all the time. Like I was going to college, like trying to get up those ramps. Like it was just
Yeah.
hard. So, and it was just really wearing my shoulders out. So for me, I found that balance with the power assist, like, but I could see how just having both options would be another, like just having a regular manual chair and having your power chair, like that's also a nice balance because again, you can give your arms a break when you need go longer distances and stuff.
it's
So,
truly unfortunate that insurance doesn't support both chairs anymore. Like when I was first injured, 25 years ago, like my insurance gave me a power chair and a manual chair. And I had the opportunity to like to have both. Thankfully, there are organizations like Triumph Foundation and stuff, which can sometimes like get you something, maybe utilize. If it's not a brand new one, it's still like a very functional, used one. But um, yeah, I think they're super important for exercise and instances where a power chair isn't the advantageous one. But again, like my power chair helps promote like I think more physical activity. Maybe
Yeah.
not like I don't know, like if I was pushing all the time, I would have a lot harder time doing the care that I
Bro,
do
Tom,
maintain on the
I'll say this real quick too, Tom. When I'm at home and I work out at home by myself, I'm in my power chair. So there's so many benefits to being in this chair because I can do different workouts. I can lean the chair back, and now I'm changing the position that I'm doing a workout in, and I might be hitting a different muscle than I was primarily as far as like pulling and pushing motions, right? If I'm trying to create tension by pulling on, bands, as you guys know, being in a manual chair, if you're tension, you're gonna keep rolling. So being able to be in the power chair, I can just move back a little bit and I'll create the tension myself and I'm able to hold it because the chair is holding the tension. So you can still be physically fit and like there's so many benefits like you said, independence in a power chair that I don't think my manual chair gives me realistically when I'm by myself, in public.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. But I don't know, like I know so many quads like Shawn and Bobby and Andrew and a couple other guys that I know like are so
Beast.
independent and living life like just beast mode, dude, like crazy.
Yeah.
But the other thing is too is like every quad is different. Like
well, every injury,
every
even para,
yeah,
everything,
yeah. No,
we're
but
all
like they, y'all might just have a little bit more function in some different ways than I do. Um,
Absolutely.
that make the power chair or the manual chair a more realistic possibility. Um, but caregiving too is like another big topic. Like I wanted to touch on about like it's comes into the balancing. I did my care every day for my whole life. Um, like I don't know, it's just like an everyday thing. Like I would get up, do my program, like my care, shower every morning. Um, One, I kind of just like thought that's what my body required. And I don't know, still might be. But I'm testing the balance of that. Um, I really wanted to like try to push my independence to see what I was capable of. I had some life goals, and like experiencing one of them this week. This weekend is like solo travel. Well, not super solo because this other crip Shawn is traveling with me, but
Yeah.
a couple of quads going on a crazy travel adventure. But part of that was like, okay, I needed to be able to manage my care at a certain level. I felt like to be able to do that confidently and like feel, somewhat secure. And even so, like I'm kind of nervous as shit. Like, still going and trying to do it. But also, didn't want to have a caregiver every day because I was doing like real life stuff that like I wanted some mornings where I could just get up and do my thing. But again, uh, I push myself to do it very independently for extended periods of time and have found that that's not a really realistic thing for me to do for a long period of time because it's just a detriment to my body. Like it's too hard. Like it really is too hard. And admitting that, understanding it, and then structuring my care in a way where I know I got busy days. I know I need help on those days. I structure my care, in order to like provide myself more help on those days so that I can use what physical stuff, I have in the tank to do what I need to do throughout my day rather than devote, a lot of my energy towards my care and taking care of myself, which I could do, but it's pretty hard. What do you guys do in that regard?
Do what you did, Tom. I mean, you know, so for me starting, and you guys said a lot, and I want to touch on a couple things that you guys said. Balance is, the show should be called health, wellness, and balance.
Oh yeah.
And you guys said it, and trust me, I didn't probably do it the right way. I did not do it the correct way. I probably did it the balls to the wall. Don't tell me what to do because I'm going to do it my way. And my first 5 months, of rehab was after 5 months, I finally touched a manual wheelchair. And the only reason why I touched it because I told them I am not getting a power chair. A wheelchair looked like a bicycle, and that's what I did. I race bikes, and I'm getting a manual wheelchair.
Yeah,
You can't even talk me into it. You know, independence, blah blah blah. No, I didn't hear any of that.
yeah,
And trust me, I suffered for a while. But as an athlete did, I went to a mall every day and trained, and yeah, I got used to it. And my 20s, I went. There was no balance. There was living life as a 20-year-old single because I almost got married at a
shout
young age.
out, dude.
Yeah, I almost got married at 22 or 23, and or on my way to it. And when that finally dissolved, I was just like, met a bunch of friends, and I just jet set it everywhere. Just went all around and just had the time of my life. Every night going out, I wasn't coming home until 11, or especially on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, getting home at 2 o'clock in the morning from the cowboy bar, or whatever place we were going to. That was my
Yeah,
20. And and I was working, and I was getting up at 5 a.m. every morning with a caregiver because I balanced that part out as what you were talking about, Tom. I wanted to be independent. And yeah, I was single and I wanted that independence, but for the life of me, getting on my shower commode chair, doing my own ditch stem and sticking my finger up my ass and getting done with the shower and then getting my ass back in the bed and getting myself dressed, I was wiped. And I
wow,
said, screw this. Okay. At least let me get somebody somebody in the morning. And then
Yeah.
that worked perfect. So at night I'd get home, whatever I want, and then undress myself. So I balanced that out and take it
yeah,
upon yourself. But it was also hard jet setting around because the internet was just fresh. And before that, it was a phone book and going to my public library. I can't even believe I did this. My first trip, I think, where did I go? Florida or somewhere. And I had to go to the library and look up, nursing agencies in the phone book from Florida or whatever
Crazy.
state I went. Yeah, and I just started calling, and but first I wrote down a bunch of numbers because we didn't have cell phones. We weren't in the library going, do do do. Okay, So I wrote down all these numbers, went home, called everybody, got a phone call back, and then that's how I, to find aides in different cities. And trust me, it wasn't cheap sometimes. People are like, well, yeah, but sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm paying cash. Okay, just come on out, So,
Yeah.
cash does, help a lot, but luckily having a
Money
good job.
talks, as they
Yeah.
say, right?
Well, but I mean, once I got into my 30s, still working full time, trying to play hard, trying to be married, I've worn myself out. And I do I wish I did it different sometimes? Probably. I mean, when I got hurt and doing manual chair, there was no emotions. They were just coming out when Shawn got hurt, I believe.
Yeah,
Were they kind of new when you got?
I think they were fairly new. Yeah, seemed like it.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean, trust me, if that was the option, I would have taken it right away, and I would be on emotions today.
Yeah.
I kind of just know it,
yeah, because I didn't
because
even get them right out of the hospital. I got them like a year down the line, I think. So it wasn't even like out of
yeah.
rehab. So
So
I
I
mean, and that's just a balance. I wish I would have done it. Right now I probably don't go out as or don't get as adventurous as I used to because I'm nervous about some territories. I don't have a power chair to just pop into and go out and do whatever I want. So I have to look at it. And I'm looking into getting. I actually got it. I just got to get it over here. Is a ZX1, which is a power unit that can clamp onto your wheelchair, and that's going to help. So you got to balance it, and
Yeah.
back in my 20s, I didn't sleep enough. I probably didn't eat the best because being single. What are you doing every day? It's Jack in the Crack and Taco Hell, and you
Well,
know,
I can like comment on that a little bit. Like when you're in your early 20s, like you're just a different human being. Like
yeah,
I was 16 years, like 17 years post injury when I moved out, and then I partied for 6 years. And I mean, seriously, like just like you, Bobby. Like I mean, I would go out. I would get up Friday morning, 5:30 a.m. I would go to school all day. I would go to my buddies. I would party all night and like bus home in the morning into my care again, not having like slept or been out of my chair for like 24 hours, and then like go and party Saturday night too. And like I don't know how I like
yeah,
you're just a different body, I think, in your early 20s. So that kind of
yeah.
and
makes
You
sense.
can do anything when you're.
and I
Um,
hope
but
you using the
it
power chair, and I hope that it saves you because I know now in my 50s, I'm like, whew, life is a little, not as easy as it used to be, and the care is a
yeah.
lot harder, and and everybody knows about the skin breakdown, and yeah, I came from a surgical wound, but still, it was caused by me being most likely doing something where I was transferring into something I shouldn't have, meaning a car that was too high or too low, and just or being way too active when because right after that I had just pushed a half marathon in my chair, and so the skin isn't as well as I probably I should have taken care of it,
yeah.
and so you got to think about once you get in
What
your 30s, especially your
what about
40s,
you,
balance
Caesar?
some of that out.
What do you do for your care?
So I have my mom is my main caregiver. My mom does all
Shout
my
out the moms out there. My mama is still my caregiver. I
right.
want caregiver.
My mom.
Yeah,
So when I say my mom too, I mean my grandmother. I call my grandma mom because she just pretty much raised me. But my mom also has done my care as well too, so she knows how to
yeah,
do it as well too. Both of them are like my rocks as far as doing my care, like all the dirty work. The reason why I'm able to look, with this damn ponytail and do things I'm like that and like make it seem like, oh, I'm so independent. The reason why I can pretend I'm as independent as I am, because I am pretty independent,
yeah.
is because at the very end of the day, they're behind the curtains running the show, and I know that to the T. And I think there's a gift and a curse with that because I'm able to rely on them for so much, but I've also had to push myself to try things and to be intentional with my movements and with my actions because a lot of times just being disabled, you look at yourself and you're like, oh, I can't do something. And because the standard was you couldn't do that for a year or maybe 2 years, in that third year, you're kind of like, I still can't do that unless you try it. And what I've realized is like sometimes things that I couldn't do, you know, I'm not gonna say a week ago, but a couple months ago, I'll try to do now, and it's 10 times easier. And I just think that if I wasn't to really initiate those moments of like, independence. Let me try this. I wouldn't be able to do certain parts of my care by myself, but it's still, like I said, my mom's running the show. That's who's the behind the curtains with the dang microphone in their ear, like, all right, we're here, making sure that like the lights are on and that the spotlight's on me, whatever you want to call it, right?
So yeah, that's
It's
actually one of the
my
things I was gonna.
mom.
I
Go
was
ahead,
just gonna
Sean.
say
Go.
one of the things that I was gonna mention. Yeah, is just that the care thing. Sorry, my dog. I don't know if you guys could.
That's cool.
You're good. You're good.
Usually it's
Um,
mine fun about it.
I know. Usually mine you can't hear, but this time he was like right outside this here, I think. But anyways, what was I saying about my care? Um,
I don't know.
oh
Sorry.
shit. Go. All right, you go ahead,
I
Tom. I'll come back to mine.
All right. We'll circle back, man. No worries. I was just gonna say, like, my mom did my care for 16 years of my life every day, and my dad helped out too. A significant amount, but my mom was, usually the one that would get up, help me with my bowel care, and my shower every day. And most importantly, though, she taught me about my care. She taught me how to explain and facilitate my care with someone else. So when it came time to moving out and getting out on my own, which I've been doing for the last decade, I could communicate and teach it, and educate someone in helping me out, and that skill has enabled me to be as independent as I am, and independent in my care, and that, like, I still have caregivers. I still have someone coming like 4 or 5 days a week in the morning. I still have my evening person that helps me, with my cleaning and some of my personal care as well. On days that I need it. Um, I structure that and I balance that, but being able to teach someone, educate someone, instruct someone on how to help me too is like a really, really huge skill that I learned, that my mom helped me teach me. So big shout out to my moms and my pops for all that help. And
Yeah.
anybody out there, understanding your own care and being able to if it comes down to it, help a new caregiver facilitate it. That's super, super important. I think
That's the
for
cardinal rule, right?
everybody.
That's
Go
the
ahead.
cardinal. That's what they teach you. Like I think first and foremost, that's the number one thing to like. I have all these moments in my head that like stuck with me, throughout this injury, right? That I hold on to so dear, and that was one of them. Is like you said, you are the biggest facilitator of your care. If you can't direct your own care, nobody can.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge
Uh,
part.
Yeah, that's for sure true, man. That's what I was gonna say earlier about like what Caesar was saying and what you're saying too right now. Like, so like that balance of care, like I think it is super super important to push yourself to be able to try these things and to do these things, but not necessary to do them every single day. So
yeah.
that's like what the thing is. Like, so for me, like you guys can even see on the channel, like I show how I can independently do a suppository bowel program. I show how I can do a bunch of stuff but I don't do that. Like, well, I don't use the suppositories anymore anyways, but even for years when I really would only do that like if it was necessary. If I was traveling, I couldn't find a caregiver, if my caregiver called out, something like that. But I think it's super important to have that like in your back pocket, like to know you can do that if it comes down to it. So like
Yeah.
that's why it's important to push yourself, even if you're not doing it every day, even if you have care
And
every day. But
just like a real world example, I do live on my own, and I've hired out care um, through an agency, through IHSS, like people that I've hired independently. But and I guess maybe I've This isn't a flex, but maybe a little bit. But like the last couple weeks, they're all back now, thankfully, because the cracks are starting to form. Like I had two caregivers, like two of my main caregivers, go on vacation at the same time, and it just was like coincidence. And I was doing my own thing for like 2 weeks solid. And when I say doing my own thing, like shout out Kit Kat, like awesome girlfriend that help me out. Like we help each other out the best we can. But like I was solid the first week, but doing all the cleaning in my apartment, on top of all of my care and everything, and still trying to maintain like everything else that I was trying to do. Like the cracks were starting to form, like after that first week, and I just got really tired, and it was just like a couple days, like wake up and it's just super super hard. Like we had this like event that we went to, the gala, the casino night thing, and like I was looking rough because I was just like everyone was like suits, like dressed to the nines. I'm like button down, like I couldn't even get the buttons done because like my quad hands couldn't swing in stuff. And I mean, thankfully, dude, like this is a joke. Like I was with like the most beautiful girl at the whole like event. It was for real. And I was a very very lucky guy. So like that. She's looking good enough for the both of us, but still, it was super hard. And when my caregivers came back, I was like, "Oh my god! Like, thank God! Like, I need help. I gotta go on this vacation, not this vacation, but this trip to Houston." I was like, "I need some help for a week. Like, I need to stop." And I did. Like my mom, even my sister came, a couple days to help me, pack and get ready and stuff. And I've really been relying on my people because I had to. Um, but I really did feel super confident and feel really good about being able to help myself in the situations when I needed to, because like it was just kind of a out of the blue thing, like coincidence, like where I was just out some help for a couple weeks, but being able to take care of myself, like it felt awesome. It does feel good. It gives me confidence and stuff that makes me feel better about trips like this. Crazy things that I'm trying to push myself to do, but things I really want to do. But it is not sustainable. I cannot do it forever. I'm probably always gonna need to have someone around to help me out, at least to a certain extent. But
Science that's to hurry up and make us all cyborgs so we can not have
dude,
to do.
working on it, working
Robot
on it,
body.
Caesar.
And
You
Cherish
saying that as a joke? I'm not joking, man. Like if we could all have a robot assistant, that'd be for real.
I'm first in line. Let's do it.
Let's go. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, cherish what you did this week, though, or the last 2 weeks, man. I'll tell you, maybe 10 years I could do that because I just experienced it too. My wife, who helps me out a lot with nowadays, um, luckily because now the bowel care is out of the question. So, having a colostomy, whoo,
That's
thank God the Lord, man. It's something I can do by myself, but still with my with just transfers are not the same anymore. My confidence is low. Um, my strength is low. So, I don't know if I could do it. And luckily I had somebody. My old roommate. We were roommates for 10 years, and she came in and helped out. Drove down from Fresno and helped out for the 6 days that my wife was gone. So, you know, kudos to you, man, by definitely doing that. I know, but it also helps that I can have someone stepped in because when we were roommates, she never. I mean, she would help out, on certain things. I'm up in my chair, like, hey, can you grab this off.
Yeah.
But she never did my care one time. I always had caregivers, and
Yeah, I mean, the
maybe
biggest
those occasional 4 o'clock in the morning when I got home and you know hanging off the bed and I'm like I'm about to break my back. Maybe I'll call her. So other than that, luckily she never had to. But think about those things, and the kudos to making it, those 2 weeks. No matter how rough you looked at the gala, it's an
you look
you
good, Tom. You were
you
styling,
made your
bro.
ass there.
thank you,
You
dude.
made
Thank
your
you.
ass there. That's all that
I
matters.
appreciate it, Shawn. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the props, you guys. Like, it did feel good to do. But it also like brought into real stark like presence in my mind the potential risk And like Bobby, like you scared me a little bit, man. Like with your wound, like I've just been thinking about pressure wounds and stuff, but it's something like we seriously have to consider. Like it is not worth doing, even attempting. Like if you aren't confident that you might not be able to prevent bodily harm from forming, and
Yeah.
like be it wounds and stuff like that. Like I got some skin in the game, like been doing it for 25 years, and I do have a lot of confidence in like my body, and like I know what it can take and what it can't. But I
Yeah.
still, like, especially the last few weeks, have been thinking about it a lot, because those 2 weeks, if I didn't know how to take care of myself, or I did make a mistake in my care, and I ended up with, a wound or some really serious skin breakdown or something, that 2 weeks could have cost me, 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
And, you know,
And it's costing me.
it is,
That's exactly what it's doing to me. It's costing me to where I know I mentioned it earlier, but and some people logged on a little later. Behind me, Mason said nice bed, but that's a hyperbaric chamber to heal up this, this final surgical wound that just won't close for whatever reason. And
Yeah.
and it's nothing I'm doing wrong. It's just I'm eating everything they're telling me. I'm doing everything the doctor's saying. I lay on my side, 18, 19 hours out of the day just to get on my back for a little bit to eat, get in my chair for kind of like this stuff, and go outside and get some vitamin D. But yeah, it's scary. It's scary. And, I
yeah,
wish I can go back and do it different. And I know that one thing that this has been teaching us, my wife and I, is just like, we got to rethink this, And, one thing she is saying, Tom, is what about your ass in a power chair?
yeah,
What about the
I mean,
ass in the what about
I think
my ass getting a van that I can drive? She hates driving my van because it's sensitized steering, and she's just like, hate driving your
uh,
van. But I'll drive a van that if it didn't have that crap. And so, it's just little things that as we get older, we're gonna have to take time. But luckily you're still young. Just watch it. Be careful. You'll do fine.
yeah. Well, I
and I
saw
actually,
Kelly in the chat. I mean to
I
cut
was
you off,
actually
Sean.
going to
I'm gonna
say
give it
that.
right back to you. With
Well,
the
I think
weight
you're gonna.
thing and like the
Yeah.
pressure sort of
So
issue. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I was actually had that comment up
I know I wanted
because
to
Kelly,
ask
yeah,
you
how I
that
roll.
because
But yeah, since we're talking about skin breakdown, I'll mention, yeah. So I do. I don't have really too much trouble with it, but I'm try to always stay on it. Like I try not to spend more than a few hours in my chair without doing some sort of. Like I usually just try to get out of my chair. Like when I'm at home, I get out to eat lunch for at least an hour, usually up to even two, because I'll like eat for an hour and then I'll do work on my phone for an hour, like stuff that I like need that I would do anyways on my phone if I'm in my
Emails,
chair. I
calls, hell yeah.
email, call, like all that kind of stuff. So I'll try to get stuff done on my phone, and then I get back into my chair, get on the computer, and do stuff again. And I do that for dinner and lunch. So I kind of just like if I'm home, I break up my day to where I'm at least getting out of the chair, and then you guys see. So I do the back ones. You guys sometimes will see me lean way up forward. So that's me actually pushing my elbow off my backrest and taking my entire back, like all the pressure off of my back. So like
Yeah.
I'm leaning forward because I actually worry more about my back than my butt because my butt is on a Roho cushion. And I actually have a lot of spasticity in my thighs. So like my like under thighs are like kind of muscly still. Like that's the one spot but they give me strong spasms. But my back is what I really worry about and concern about. Like I will after a long day, like after this trip right now, every day my ribs on my sides and down my spine are probably going to be somewhat bruised every single day. Like they're going to start to have like some damage. And so that's why I'm going to need to really recover for that following week or two after and try to just watch my skin, take care of
No,
it,
bro.
stay active. So
I mean,
We're gonna
honestly,
book.
yeah.
We're gonna book you some reverse liposuction, man. I got some I can
Gonna
donate.
pump the
Okay,
fat in
dude.
me.
Like, yo, let's go, man.
we're
Like,
gonna get a shot of BBL. A BBL.
we'll, we'll, we'll get some
Hey,
overweight person that wants lipo and we'll go directly one to the other, right in
yeah.
from them to me.
Oh man.
you guys,
Just
I don't know. Last time Shawn was over here, but I don't know if you get this, Tom or Caesar. Every time I'm around Shawn, it's just like, and he leaves, I'm like, I feel like I'm like 500 pounds. You know, I'm looking at my belly like, I'm like, damn, I'm
Bobby,
trying to say, like,
you're
I
talking
know
about
Yeah,
I'm
I
you're
feel
skinny
the same
next to
when I'm
Shawn.
around
No,
you, dude.
no, but I mean, like, I got a good, you know, the quad belly
Hey,
is what I
I
hate, but
I'm waking up, I'm rubbing my Buddha every morning for good luck, you know, like it is what it is.
but
Like,
every time when you're around Shawn, you're like super conscious because it's just like even my wife was like, "Damn, look at you, look." I'm like, "I know, stop,
well,
don't," you know?
also I'm around Kit Kat all the time who's like, you know,
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
Like, you know, the tiniest person in the world. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm a big giant. I'm like twice the size.
I definitely
Oh
feel good
man.
when I roll into rooms too. You know, I am 6'3", so I do notice
yeah,
that.
you're
And I'm broad too. Like my shoulders, that's like one of the first muscles I say that like I noticed still worked all the way. And my shoulders kind of like those are my biceps were the two strongest muscle groups that I had.
oh
So
yeah.
I feel like there's a lot. I know you guys were talking about like the power wheelchair thing earlier too. Just the fact that I have a power wheelchair for being at home, I'm not gonna like lie to you. I've been in my manual wheelchair for times for about a week or so, right? And I noticed the difference that like if I'm traveling, so I went to New Orleans, for example, a week and a half out there, and it's nuts just being in that manual wheelchair for a week and a half compared to just being able to, be out in public in my manual and then getting home and hopping into my power chair where I can recline, I can like lean back, I could do kind of what Tom's doing and just kind of like take pressure off my butt and kind of put it on my lower
Yeah.
back. There's ways to relieve pressure, and I just think just it's such a shame that insurance wants to act like we should only have one wheelchair when essentially having both will maintain our life and our health overall long
Yeah.
term. So, like, in an attempt to be cheap, they're being cheap, but they're going to cause more problems for themselves later on, which is terrible. I've also learned that's like the way you have to word things to them for you to get things. So for anyone who like
Yeah,
wants
that is.
to, you always have to make it seem like the deal's better for them. When you make the deal seem like it's better for them, they almost always give you what you want.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
tell them that they're going to be paying more in the long run. Like it's going to cost you more in the long run. Like, so.
they're like, no, I don't want to pay you. Go do this.
Cesar,
Um,
when you were in New Orleans, did you go for Jazz Fest?
No, I went. My sister used to live out there, so I went for her wedding.
Uh,
That was like the funnest thing ever. But I went twice, and both times I was only in my manual chair. Like I said, I've been to Dominican Republic a few times as well too in my wheelchair, and the flight getting there is nuts. Like you go from here to New York or to Miami, or to like Panama, which that is probably the best route if you ask me. You go through Panama because you fly like 6 hours directly to Panama, then it's only 3 in the DR, and that's a really good like transition. That's me. It's just and the airport is super small, so you don't like you're not like stuck scrambling searching for your airplane and whatnot. But yeah, when I'm out there, like you guys said, just I'm lucky to have so much support almost everywhere I go to where I have a little bit of help. And I'm not gonna lie, I usually rely on that for the things. I'm not afraid to ask my people for help because I know, like you guys said, long term, every quad that I've talked to long term always tells me like, bro, utilize those free transfers, like utilize it because you're gonna have to do it yourself. So like, be okay with asking for that help when you need it and
yeah.
having training wheels. I think every time that I've transferred myself, by myself before I was comfortable all the way, I still have someone there like training wheels so I don't fall.
Yeah.
And I still make sure that I check my skin or if I feel a little like dysreflexia from sitting in the day, or sitting all day, I'm sitting here and I'm, asking my mom, like, look at my butt, like, get really close, put your damn glasses on. Like, I'm like sitting there, like, asking my mom to like stare at my ass to make sure that I don't have any pressure sores. For me, my feet are more susceptible. It's just one of my things, I guess. I've gotten pressure sores on my feet a lot. I have to be really conscious of the shoes I'm wearing. If my toes bent a certain way, there's a lot of that has to happen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
I know that's not super uncommon. I got a pressure sore on the knuckle of my big toe. And it like was one of the hardest like things. It took a couple months to heal, and it wasn't that big, but it was kind of deep, and it scared the shit out of me for a while. And what ended up like beating it was I went to Arizona for a week, and it dried it out like for the first time. and it like once it dried, like it finally scabbed, but it still got a little divvy where it was. Yeah,
I
so
kind
you
of
got to
thought
be really
I
careful with
kind
your
of thought
food.
that for my pressure sore, Tom, going to Arizona for a week and just being here, I'm near Huntington Beach, and I'm like,
Yeah,
maybe it's the air, maybe this is, So I was thinking about the same thing, going to Arizona. If we're
dude,
if I'm not still healed, I'm going to Arizona no matter what, and stay out there for a week, and before the show, and it'll be healed up. I'm sure. Just
let's go.
set my ass in
Yeah,
the sun and just like burn it.
Yeah.
dude, I I joked like I joked to my mom when I got back. I'm like, that should be like a prescription. Like, you need to go to a dry climate for real, and like help this thing heal up. And again, maybe I'm just blowing smoke over here, but I felt like there was something to that.
Yeah.
I repeat, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice.
Yeah. Don't take our advice, please. No.
um, And just to kind of wrap up, I know we are getting towards the end. I don't want to go over too long today because we got crazy day tomorrow and Bobby's been up long enough. But my dad told me this thing a couple years ago, and I think it's like just going back to the nutrition and the mental health side of things. It's like if you're feeling hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you need to halt and stop what you're doing. Which, it's just like a little mnemonic device. But I don't know, I've just noticed, especially for squads and pairs and, just individuals with disabilities in general,
Yeah.
one thing that can be tough is nutrition, but it's hugely important to not just physical well-being but mental well-being as well. Like, everybody gets hangry, but if you're not eating enough and feeding your body the right nutrients that is like allowing you to operate and like be in a healthy mental state, it can be a real thing. It can make you feel depressed, it can make you feel super down. Like, nutrition and feeding your body is super super important. And then, you know, the angry, lonely, tired thing, it's like resting, making sure, you are getting the right amount of rest. It's just hugely, hugely important to normal function and normal activity is, like a good rest routine. And I don't know, my big thing is I, do talk a big game when it comes to my independence. Part of that is like I'm just a stubborn son of a gun sometimes, and like I have this real want to like be able to do everything for myself, and not just do everything for myself, but do everything I can for those close to me as well, and like operate this way that I know sometimes I think I set an expectation beyond what I can do, and I got to remember that it's okay to ask for help sometimes. Like, I can get really pissed off and really down on myself, when like I'm trying to do my care and I'm just failing. Or, like I just don't have the energy to do it. And I'm like really struggling and, feeling alone and down. I have really been working on trying to be better and like, okay, dude, you got to ask for some help, whatever that may be. And that's okay. Don't get down on yourself for that. I just want, again, reiterate, remind everybody that taking care of your body, giving it the right stuff, and taking care of your mental health is hugely, hugely important to just being in general healthy and staying active and,
Yeah.
overall well being.
Yeah, mental health
Yeah,
is huge, man. It's huge.
absolutely. I call it for myself. I've always done pause. Just pause yourself.
Yep.
Look around. What needs to happen here to change a little bit. And definitely the finding that small little activity, finding the silver lining in the day can get you going very far. In the sense, going outside in the sun for 15 minutes. Sean, have a piece of cheesecake or 15. Whatever it might take, a good book, make sure you're positive, make sure you're also balancing that nutrition, balancing
Yeah.
that workout, balancing your life, amount of hours in your chair, because I didn't do it right. And I know I wasn't perfect and, stayed in my chair and 20 hours a day, almost like 4 or 5 times a week. It seemed like probably even not that many, and maybe not that many weeks in a row, but it felt like it. And, so paying the price doesn't help, down the road. So balance yourself, take care of yourself, eat right, be right. And also another big thing, sleep,
Yep.
and figure
Oh,
out
that's
what's going
good.
to work on sleep. I know that is the number one complaint from all of us. And maybe Shawn, that's probably a dumb thing to say right now, before we're about to wrap up. But that can probably just be a whole topic in itself, because sleep is so important
Honestly,
for that wellness.
almost
And
every single person I talk to that's in a chair has major trouble sleeping. Like,
So, okay, so my bed that I don't want to mention because I want to get sponsored by this company, and I want them to really do so. But my bed has literally changed my life. My bed, I think, is probably the number one bed that every quad should get. I'll tell you guys. I'll just say this is a sleep number bed. But a sleep number bed, man, it's life changing. Like I was recommended by another OG, Steve. I'm sure you guys know Steve. He moved to San Diego. He I met him at Core. He's from like Northridge, my area, but he ended up moving down to San Diego. He's like my OG. I love this guy to death. But he recommended a sleep number bed for me, and when I tell you just the fact that it takes so much pressure off my butt, like I don't turn at night. I sleep directly laying on my back, and I don't have any problems with pressure sores because of that. And I fall asleep within 10 minutes. I'm not even kidding. As soon as I lay down, I'm out cold. It's because I found my number, and I kind of just like, I really do believe in their product. When I say to me it's life changing, it is. I think a lot of us quads too, because it's an air bed, but a lot of us assume we need the hospital bed. My other recommendation to any quad, if you can, because I know not everybody does, right? Um, get yourself a bigger bed, a different bed, obviously. Like you need room to move. It's one of
if
those
you're in a
things that,
twin, yeah, Tom, you need to get.
so
Hey,
you know,
listen, it's a full, okay? It's a
Oh, that's
little
right.
bit
That's right.
bigger than
I
a
forgot.
twin.
You got a phone
All
now. You
right?
got a phone now.
If it's two, beautiful ass quads, like maybe not
Bro,
super
not
comfortably,
not
but it
comfortably.
works.
Not
Uh,
comfortably. There's no
so
way.
hey,
Andrew,
I got a lady with the bigger bed, okay? Leave me be.
Andrew from Triumph used to recommend that to my mom when I was in the
Oh.
hospital. Andrew, when I first got home, because they came to build my first ramps, and was like, "Yo, tell your son." Or he was like, "Why did your son have a hospital bed in his room?" Like he like wanted to go look at my room, and my mom was like, "Oh, because they gave us that. We thought he was gonna need that." And he's like, "No, get him a regular bed. He's not in the hospital anymore." And just that alone allowed me to practice my care comfortably. And things like transferring, things like just moving, stretching, being comfortable, like doing all that. When I'm on my bed, I know I'm not gonna fall and really hurt myself. So, or maybe not with transferring, but like stretching and all that, right? And like turning and learning how to get up by myself. I was able to do all that because I got out of the hospital bed, and I recommend that to every quad. Like you need to get out of the damn hospital bed. You can because it just helps a lot with your own independence.
you have so my number's
100%.
40, Cesar.
Hey, see,
Uh,
you already know. I'm telling you, you know. See,
Yeah, yeah,
No, yeah,
yeah.
my number is 40, and I've had one for 20 years, love it. And then
yeah,
just in 2020, I went out and got where the head can go up, and oh my gosh, the head going up. Now, when I need to like sit up, because my ass, from a lay down position, sitting up is just a killer lately,
yeah.
and so now I sit up and back up, put the head back down. Now I can transfer on my, it's just a nice feature. And then also like at night I can sit up a little, watch some TV in bed nowadays. Oh, I love it.
If
I remember.
independence is your goal, I highly recommend getting a bed that has the foldable, like the head can go up and the feet can go up. I've had that for the last 15 years. Like, I sleep on a regular foam mattress. It's nothing special. I would do fine on that in terms of skin and stuff. But being able to lift my head up and the feet up in my bed to help assist with my care, to help assist with my moving around, just like, stretching, whatever it is, it like I can when my power's out or like the bed stops working, I'm like dead in the water. It's like real scary. I'm like I need my foldable bed. Um, so the bed that you get, like what kind of mattress do you sleep on, Sean?
I have just like a memory foam. It's a Serta memory foam, like mattress. It's like a medium firmness. Um, Yeah, so it's like a memory foam, but it has like spring. It's like half and half or whatever because it's like Serta. So it has, I think, small springs under and then like whatever layers of memory. And for me, that works fine. It works. I sleep great on it. Like when we're in the hotel, I probably gonna have a rough time sleeping. I just never sleep good on the harder hotel beds. But yeah,
And
for
there's
me, that memory foam works.
That's what
also
I'm
for those who get nervous, like, oh, leaving my hospital bed because it has a special kind of mattress, you can lay those air mattresses on top of any bed. And so you can inflate it. And then when you need to get dressed, unflate it, deflate it, and then do what you need. And it's solid because when you deflate the hospital bed, you're going down all the way, and it's now you're on whatever the metal or frame that they're working with. So, there's many more options, just the hospital bed. So,
And I do have a queen size bed that can be moved into my apartment at any time. But I have a 325 square foot studio, and it would
Yeah,
literally take up like a quarter of my space.
I'd be in
And
your
with a
kitchen.
power wheelchair, it's like, yeah, tough.
I get you,
So
man.
I got the bed I got because of, certain circumstances, but it is very important. You have some place that you're comfortable. It's like it's that saying, like, you spend a good chunk of your life, sleeping in bed. And it's really important to be comfortable and recharge. So, whatever your bed is, whatever your mattress is, I really do want to get a sleep number at some point. I've had the mattresses I've had. My last one was just like a spring mattress. And then this one is just a foam. And I don't really seem to. I slept on a cot before, you know, for a week. Like, as
I,
long as it's got a little cushion, I seem to be okay.
Yeah,
But
I've slept on rollaways. I've slept on pull-out sofa, which are usually very terrible, but work. Um, just it just depends on how long you got to be there.
but in terms of like your home and where you're living, just make sure it's something that offers you comfort, and safety at night in terms of like your skincare and stuff. And then, if you can get some features like functionality in the bed, it can really help improve your independence. At least I've found.
For sure.
Later,
Later,
Steve.
Steve.
Yo,
Yeah.
appreciate everybody in the chat. Like we had,
Hey,
Yeah. You
everybody,
guys all.
hanging out, hit that like button before we wrap up.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw 34
what a
people in
great,
here at one point. If we do
yeah.
not have 34 likes at the end of this live, then I'm coming after everybody that didn't like. I was just kidding. We appreciate your love and support, whether you like the video or not. But if you do enjoy this content and you feel so inclined to support us, we really appreciate you liking, subscribing, hitting that little notification bell. So when we go live every week and the women go live, first and third Thursday of every month, you will get notified of those videos and able to tune in and join the fun. And we will thank our sponsors one last time. Mobility Professionals, the greatest rehabilitation equipment company in the Southern California region, out here meeting all your mobility needs. And Urology Pros, help you out with your urological supplies anywhere in the country.
Oh.
Really, really great companies. Oh, Caesar, we got to get you back, bro. Just to say peace
All
out.
right.
Let's hang on for a
Uh,
second.
Battery.
But yeah,
Battery.
we're Shawnee boy. Did you also want to shout something else out?
oh yeah. So little announcement we got today posted on the website. I'll try to post the links. But Live to Roll was actually awarded 2022's best YouTubers with paralysis and best podcast with paralysis,
Let's go
for spinalcord.com. So yeah, check us out on there, you guys. It's on spinalcord.com. They got a bunch of stuff on there. I'll try to put the
Yeah,
links
just
in.
like a resource website. They do their the point of the website is to get people to meaningful resources. Like we feel like really grateful and stoked that they think our content was worthy enough to put on there and direct people towards. We really do. That's our aim, is to try to provide
Oh,
meaningful
that one's
content.
big.
Um, but it's super cool. We appreciate that. And they do have a lot of meaningful resources, not just about stuff like this. But you know, laws stuff, ADA stuff, all kinds of really amazing stuff. So go check out the website. Appreciate you
Thanks,
joining,
Dominic.
Kelly,
Yeah,
Dominic.
thanks,
You guys,
Kelly.
all you guys are so awesome.
Dominic, we missed you
Um,
today. Oh, I wanted to say a shout out to our buddy David Washington in the house. If
yo,
he's
our boy
around,
David.
always love seeing you. I know
Yeah,
David's,
dude.
he said it's 6'7", 245. He was that football player. I mean,
And
That's
David,
what
when
I
we see
put.
you,
I tried to put people's the heights and weights in there for a little bit because nobody is under 6 foot that was in this. Like it was like 6 foot was like the lowest one, and then we had like 6'7" David, and then Celtic Bear is 7'1". Like we got some big boys in our chat. You guys.
Olivia, welcome back. Thank you for the shout out, Olivia. And yeah, actually, I always go whenever I go to Arizona. I always go out and stay with Mark. His house is always very open, very big, and my wife and I love going out there. So that's where I'll be staying when we head out for the Billies Expo.
And last shout out, real quick, before we go, we got a few new hat colors. Red hats. That's a forest green hat. That's a trucker hat back there, Bobby, which I will grab maybe for you. It's got the black and the white in the back. And then we got a couple new black and then lighter gray flex fits available on the website soon. But right now, available in Houston, Friday and Saturday, Sunday.
you just have to come and join us in Texas at the Abilities Expo this weekend if you want to get one of the early deals. Yo, my man, he's back.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
my
and
connection.
Olivia dropped
No,
the
you're
super
good, dude.
sticker right at the end. Oh my, thank you
Wow.
so
Hey,
much.
It's really awesome. Appreciate your love and support, Olivia.
Thank
You're
you,
so
Olivia.
awesome.
You're the
Thanks.
best. You're
And
amazing.
yo,
But yeah,
shout
Caesar, you want
out.
to close it out for real quick for us, man?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, man, I would love to. Honestly, I always appreciate being here with you guys. I think like I said, this topic is so necessary to get different perspectives from all of our journeys. And like you guys said, just like one of the keys here is just balance more than anything. Being able to realize that you need to ask for help when you need it, but you also need to make sure to push yourself to do what you can when you can do it. I think that's like the main reason why I can make the videos that I make, like you guys mentioned about like transferring and putting on my shorts and all that. Like I want to show other quads that we can use our bodies and manipulate them certain ways, because that's always what inspired me. It's not about like trying to beat quote unquote your disability or what happened with you. I just think it's more just us being able to be our best selves, and to truly reach that, you're gonna have to be uncomfortable sometimes, and that's okay. But then there's also, like you said, the balance of rest and just knowing the difference between like discomfort and pain. And I think there's like a fine line between those, but being okay with being uncomfortable. That's a huge aspect of growing. Yeah.
That's
Some
good, dude.
wise words right there. I just love what you said about, pushing yourself where you can, but, also like accepting and understanding your limitations and, help,
Yeah.
getting help where it's required. Um, and yeah, dude, super, super awesome, Caesar. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your afternoon to join us and disseminate some meaningful, powerful stuff, bro, because you're an amazing guy and you do set a really awesome example. And yeah, we appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you guys. Like I
Yeah, for
said, I
sure.
love
Thank you, Caesar, man.
the best, bro. You guys are
Sh-
inspiring me. So
Shout out Pop Conaway, Nature's Edge video. I know you're out there watching. Um, sorry, I just
What
want
was
to shout
that?
out my dad.
Oh, your
I just
dad.
wanted to shout out my dad real quick, Papa Conaway. But yeah, let's live, everybody, and
Yeah,
we'll
you
catch
guys.
you for
Thanks
live from
everybody for
Houston on
watching.
Friday.
Yeah, we'll
Take
be
care.
live from Houston, you guys. See you guys later. Thanks for watching,
With the
everybody.
roll.